Hello students, today we are going to learn Human Genome Project, that is HGP. Now what is this Human Genome Project? In this project, it is tried to sequence the all human genome. Actually it is a very big project. You know that we have already studied whatever the characters of human beings are there, that is actually the expression of the genes. So two individuals, if you will see, then they are never looks similar. They have some differences in them. So these are differences because of their difference in their DNA. Now whatever the difference in the DNA is there, that we will study in Human Genome Project. So this was a very big task to study the whole genome. Actually this project was launched in 2003 and it was a very big project run for 13 years. This project was started by US Energy Department, and with that department Japan, Germany, France, China, all these countries are also involved to do this project, and this project was completed in 2013. As I said, Human Genome Project is a mega project. Now why it is called as a mega project? Because if you imagine the requirements of this project, then see here, for this mega project, the sequence of one base pair, whatever if you have to sequence a one base pair, then it will cost $3. How many base pairs are there in human genome? It is 3 into 10 raised to 9 base pairs, right? So you just multiply that 3 into 10 raised to 9 base pairs with $3, then you will get a total cost of this sequencing the genome of human, then it will be of $9 billion, right? US dollar. Now this much big information if you have to store, then for storage how many books you need? See here the data available for storage. If you are 1000 letters on one page, and like that 1000 pages will form a one book, then like this we will have 3300 books to store this sequence, to store this information. So by this you can imagine that this is a very big project, right? Now before starting this project, there some of the goals they have set. So for goal, what they have decided, for what reasons they are performing this project. See here some of the goals. First is that to determine the entire sequence of human DNA. Whatever human DNA is there, that all genes as well as base pair sequence they will determine. It is a very big task. So this was their first goal. Second goal was identify all genes in the DNA. So in human there are near about 20 to 25,000 genes are there, and they are tried to identify all the genes. The next one is that storage. Now just before this only we have seen that 3300 books is needed to store the sequence of a base pair of a human DNA. So to store this information in a database form is another goal. Fourth goal was to improve the tool for data analysis. Then next one, to transfer related technologies to the different private sectors as like industries. Next one, that address the ethical, legal and social issues which will be arise after this human genome project. Because whenever something we are doing or scientists do some kind of experiments on humans or related to humans, then sometimes it may affect to their ethical issues. So to deal with that ethical issues, social issues, this was another goal. So like that there are total 6 goals set by Human Genome Project, and by setting these 6 goals this project was started. Along with all these goals, there are one more aim to find out the genome of the human beings or sequencing the human genome, is that to deal with the various diseases, human diseases are there, just find out the solution for these diseases. Another thing is that there are some of the environmental issues are there that will also be able to solve. Some of the agricultural issues are there to increase the production, to increase the nutritional value. For that also this method will be utilized. So along with the human genome sequencing, there are other non-human models are also there which are sequenced, such as yeast, bacteria, fruit fly, that is Drosophila, rice plant. These are also sequenced their genome. Now we will see some of the methods which the scientist has used to sequence the genome. So the methodologies used for Human Genome Project are two. One is that expressed sequence tags and sequence annotation. Now in this expressed sequence tags means what? The name itself indicates that expressed sequence tags means the DNA which is expressed in the form of a protein or in the form of a RNA. That sequence only identified, or that method is used to sequence the base pairs. Now how is it this? This is the DNA. On this DNA, this RNA is formed, and you know that this RNA is there which will be further processed and translate into proteins, and whatever the proteins are there, they have a particular sequence of the amino acids. Now if we know the sequence of the amino acids, we can easily find out the sequence on the mRNA, and from the sequence of the mRNA we will find out the sequence of the DNA. So here we will get the sequence of the base pairs of the DNA in a reverse process, means from protein to amino acids to mRNA to DNA. So in this method we are only able to get the DNA which is expressed in the form of a protein. So this is the first method, express sequence tag. Now the second method is that sequence annotation. Now in the sequence annotation, it is also considered that the RNA which is having non-coding sequence, this you have already studied. The full DNA, whenever it transcribes, then it will be transcribed into the two parts, that is exons and introns. Introns actually does not code for protein, so it will be removed by the splicing. So in a sequence annotation, full DNA sequence is considered, means introns will also be considered. Now in this, exons as well as introns will be considered. Now sequencing the total whole long DNA, it is not an easy task. You know that the length of the DNA, we have seen that it is 2.2 meter. So this much long strand we cannot sequence at a time. So for that we are using this method. The DNA will be extracted and fragmented into small pieces. So for that, see the method. This is the bacterial cell. In case of bacteria, this is a plasmid and this is a chromosome. This is the extra chromosomal DNA. Both are DNA only. This is the genetic material of the bacteria, that is the chromosome, and this is the extra chromosomal circular DNA is there, that is called as a plasmid. So their densities are different. So we will differentiate these two chromosomes based on the density gradient. So in cesium chloride and ethidium bromide, we will keep this bacteria and centrifuge that. After centrifugation, we will get the plasmid DNA and chromosomal DNA separate. So in this way we have separate here the chromosomal DNA and plasmid DNA. You know that the DNA, as it is a very long strand, it will be broken into small fragments by using restriction enzymes, right? This is the EcoR1 restriction enzyme which will break the DNA at a particular sequence. Means wherever in the long DNA TAA sequence is there, there and there only this DNA will be cut, and like this ends, open ends will be formed. So in this way DNA is get fragmented. This is done for both bacterial chromosome also as well as human DNA also. Now you know that even the circular plasmid DNA is there in the bacteria, that is also get break by using the same enzyme that is EcoR1 endonuclease enzyme, right? So this will also sequence this DNA into the same site where TTAA sequence is there and the open ends will be formed. Now you know that in the DNA as well as in the plasmid these ends will be formed. It is the same, means complementary to each other, matching. So in this way we are keeping these fragments, attaching these fragments to this bacterial, and this process is called as a annealing. Once it is done annealing, then this plasmid will be inserted into the bacteria. You know that bacteria will be reproduced very fast in the nutrient medium. So this vector DNA is there, it will be reproduced and make its multiple copies as the bacteria go on increasing their number by reproduction. In this way the plasmid's copies are also increased. This process is called as cloning, means we are making the clone of this vector DNA. Now once this vector DNA is formed, for that we have used artificial bacteria, that is an artificial yeast. Bacterial artificial chromosome is known as BAC, and yeast artificial chromosome which is used, that is known as YAP. So whatever this process of multiplication and cloning of the DNA fragment is there, that is done with the help of these two artificially made microorganisms, that is bacteria and the yeast. So this is the act as a vector or plasmid of yeast and bacteria which multiplies the fragments of the DNA. Now once this is done, then you can see that the sequencing of these tags, how it is done. This is what a sequence annotation. You see here the PCR technique, that is polymerase chain reaction, where the amplification of the DNA will be taken. Means the one DNA is there, it will be converted into the thousands, multiplied into the thousands, billions times. So by using the PCR technique, amplification of primers will be used and it will be increase their number. Once it is increased, then it will be kept on Zell electrophoresis, where this DNA will be get separated depending on their length of the DNA fragment. So here you can see that this is the first, then third number strand is there, here fifth number strand of red color, then here on second number, here again it is of fourth number, again here in this blue color 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the different strands we got. Now if you will see the sequence annotation technique is there, how it is done. Here you can see that overlapping of some of the segments are done. Means here the one is there, no any one others have the first segment, so this will be the one as it is. So it is having the third, and even in this also the third segment is there. So this both will be overlapped. So this three and this three will be kept here together. So after one, 3 will be there and 3 of blue will be there. Then so the 4 again we can see it is having in this green also, so leave it. Then fifth, it is again having the overlapping with this fifth, so leave it. Sixth one is there, it is only present in this segment. So after third, 6 will be here which is not overlapping with any of these two. So the 6 number segment will come, and as third overlapping was here, then fourth one is overlapping with the green one patch. So the fourth of blue and green one, fourth will come here which is a overlapping, and in green then remaining second is there, so it will come at the last. So the sequence of these tags will be first, third of red, then third of blue, then fifth of red and fifth of blue, that is also both overlapping, so that has come. Then as it is blue starting, sixth one of blue, fourth one of blue, then as it is overlapping with the fourth one of greens, and that's why this is fourth one, and then at last the second. So this is what the sequence of the fragments or the tag. So this is a sequence annotation. You will get this more clear by this diagram. See, this is the full DNA strand. It will be cut at different places by restriction enzymes and cut into the pieces. Now these pieces, whenever it is amplified, inserted into these plasmids and then checked, their overlapping sequence are there. Means it is AB, then second segment is BC. Means here the end of this first segment is there, that is the starting of the second segment. So this is the overlapping. So this is common for this both. Then again end of the second segment is the beginning of the third one. So this is get overlapped. So this will be joined, and in this way we can sequence this fragment from A to R. This is what the mechanism or the method is used in sequence annotation. Now this sequencing the fragment is a very complicated task. So for that, Frederick Sanger has identified a new technique, that is automated sequencer. So these are the automated sequencer, and this will be done with the help of the computer. So by automated sequencer, sequencing of these tags will be takes place. In this way, by using these methods, scientists tries to sequence the all chromosomes, genes and their base pairs. You know that we have total 23 pairs of the chromosome. So if you consider it as an haploid, there will be 23 chromosomes. Out of that, 22 are autosomes, and X and Y, these are the sex chromosomes. So total 24 chromosomes are there. Among that 24, chromosome number 1 is the biggest chromosome, and chromosome Y is the smallest chromosome. Chromosome 1 is having the 2968 genes. So it is a biggest chromosome. And chromosome Y is having only 231 genes. So sequencing of these all human chromosome is completed in 2006, and the last chromosome which is sequenced, that is chromosome number 1. Now at last we will see some of the silent features of the Human Genome Project. First we have seen the goals of the Human Genome Project. So by setting the goals, they have done this project. After completion this project, what of these goals they have achieved, based on that these silent features are given. See here, in human genome they found that there are 3164.7 million nucleotides are present in the human genome. Average gene consists of 3000 base pairs. Then as this gene consists 3000 base pair, there is a largest gene dystrophy which has 2.4 million genes also. If we see the total number of genes in human genome, then it is of 30,000 total genes they have estimated. They also found that there is a less than 2% genes are there which will code for protein, and more than 98% DNA is there which does not code for protein. It is just repetitive bulk DNA is there. Next one, that chromosome number 1 is there. It is the largest one and having the 2968 genes locating on the chromosome number 1. As well as chromosome Y is there, which is the smallest one, having 231 genes on it. The largest gene dystrophic is there, on which 2.4 million base pairs are found. Generally what we have seen that average genes consist, any one gene will be consist near about 3000 base pair. But here in the largest gene there are 2.4 million base pairs we have found. Then as I said, only less than 2% gene codes for the protein, means there is a large portion of the DNA which is having the repetitive sequence and a bulk genome which is forming here. So repetitive sequence contribute a large portion in the human genome. Next one is that functions of 50% genes are unknown. We don't know the functions of 50% genes yet to find out. So these are some of the silent features of the human genome. Now from the exam point of view, human genome project, actually it is very simple point. On that 3 marks question will be asked on the goals, 5 marks question will be asked sometimes on the silent features of the human genome project, and the sequencing of a human genome. 2 methods are used. The name of these 2 methods will be used, or for describing these 2 methods in detail it will be asked for 3 marks or 5 marks. Small questions of 1 mark, 2 marks will also be asked on these 2 methods. So you have to prepare it very well, and especially you have to give more attention on the silent features and the goals of the human genome project. Majoritarily this was asked, and another one is that sequence annotation. Rest is okay. Prepare well. All the best.